Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
We're glad you could join us once again. This is the hazy, lazy, crazy days of summer right now. And I hope you're enjoying your days. Probably most of your days are spent inside like ours are.
Oh, it's so hot.
It's too hot to be outside for a very long period of time at all.
Oh, I can't even imagine not having air conditioning or, like back when you were a kid, you could
We had no air
sleeping
conditioning.
on the porch. I can't even imagine.
In fact, we were married in the month of July, and there was no air conditioning in the church. And a groomsman fainted, and my dress was scratchy and itchy and hot. That's just the way it is in summer. But we are so spoiled by air conditioning.
We are, and I'll take it.
Yes, we will. The older I get, the more I need it to.
I appreciate it for sure.
And I wonder sometimes how I got out in the garden and did the things I did in the garden. Canning 100 quart of tomatoes or making lots of jams and so on, because it was just so hot outside. And then you came in the kitchen and heated up the stove, and it was hot again outside.
Oh my goodness!
But we did it, and I don't know that I could do that now.
No, that's a lot.
It is a lot,
and heat just saps your energy.
It does, it really completely. Does. I think it's the humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a jungle here the other day.
It has been that way. And over the weekend, we received rain, 2 to 3 inches, they're saying. I haven't really checked anything, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, needed so badly.
A July rain is always something to be celebrated.
You bet.
Truly
yes, appreciated and grateful for it.
While you're inside these days, are you reading a book? Are you doing needlework? Working on a special project? Tell us what you're working on or what you're reading. We'd love to hear about it.
Yes, for sure.
And in the comments, if you would. And then we'll share with you, too, what we're doing. It's just fun to have some inside things to do because that's where we're at a lot of the time.
Yeah, I've been reading some fiction books, too, and just enjoying summer. Kind of like my friend Rebecca did a little post, and she said a picture of her after swimming, and she said, I realized after coming back from vacation that swimming is like a little mini vacation you can take anytime. And like, well, reading a good book and putting your feet up is like a little mini vacation you can take anytime. And that's good to think about.
Yes, it is. Well, this morning I'd like to show one of my favorite herbs. You're familiar with it in my garden. I don't think you have it in your garden. We need
this year.
We need to put it in your garden.
I have the giant.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Okay. This happens to be anise hyssop. It has a very pretty flower to it. A lot of people say making the beverage from it tastes a little bit like licorice, but I've never found it to be quite that true. Maybe because I don't make it strong enough. I don't always like my teas and beverages real strong, but it is just one of the most delightful plants ever, and to have in the garden. It is rated as number 1 as a pollinator plant.
Yeah, I know when I've seen it at your place that it's covered. It's always
covered with insects and bumblebees and honeybees and butterflies, just everything. I don't know if you've ever heard the story of how I was introduced to anise hyssop. I had a herb study group, as you know, up in Nebraska where I lived. And once a month, about 30 of us would get together and we'd talk about herbs. We'd have a lesson on herbs and so on. And one evening, Jill brought a beverage to herb study group. And I was not familiar with it all. So I thought, maybe I better go sample this before we all get together. And I did. And the second sip of it, it went clear to my toes and into my fingers, tips of my fingers. And it was just like, oh, I know you, or where did you come from? Or it was just like, it was magical, truly magical. And I just fell in love with this beverage. And it's so simple to do because it's just the leaves and the flowers of the plant. And it's made kind of like lemon balm, our beverage lemon balm. And just take it, make an infusion of it with hot water over it, let it settle a while, and pour it over ice. Mm-hmm. So soothing. And so, Jill, thank you for introducing me to anise hyssop. I absolutely love this plant, and it is in my garden every single year. Because it is a perennial, it is drought resistant. So, it doesn't take a lot of water. Once it's established, it will reseed itself. And I love it because what I do is I wait till the flowers are completely, what I call used up. The flowers are vanishing. I will then clip the heads off. Now, that's if there's any left from me using it.
Right.
But then I will sometimes have one plant that I just leave for the bees, for the insects. And that's for them to enjoy. And then that will eventually seed itself or go into seeds. The flowers, that's their job, is to make seeds. And then I can collect the seeds and share them with other people, which is something I truly love to do. The seeds can be planted in the fall. As nature does, it drops its seeds in the fall. And they need light to germinate, so you don't cover them up with soil or anything, just as nature would just drop them down. Besides using it as a beverage over ice, you might want to make a wonderful syrup out of it and drizzle it over fresh fruit. It's perfect for that. And so it's a plant you might want to try, and I would really, truly recommend having it in your garden. It works as a good landscape plant because it grows about 2 to 3 foot tall. I think mine are about 2 foot tall. It's a pretty plant, and it just has blooms like all summer long. If you'd like to get seed for this plant, you can possibly get it from a friend, or you can buy a seed packet of it. This is from Botanical Interest, and I found this at my natural grocer's store. They have a whole rack of all the Botanical Interest seeds, and I happen to see this and go, there's anise hyssop. So, and I'm not sure how I really got my first plant started, but I have plants all the time because they just seed themselves. But this is a wonderful plant. I love it.
Yeah, toss the seeds out in the fall and just let them go.
So everybody, please grow it. You'll enjoy it. It's just wonderful to see and to smell.
Yeah, and speaking of things to grow for the pollinators, we hope that those of you who are local are planning to come this Sunday to our event that we're hosting at the Unitarian Fellowship, or Unitarian Congregation, I guess it's called now, the building. We are hosting Frank Norman and Courtney Masterson, who are two of our local experts on restoring native prairie in light of what had happened with the Prairie Park Nature Center. We wanted to do something so that people can actually do something in their own backyard. And no matter how large or small of a space you have, you can plant things that are native. And we really recommend it because, it helps not only the native pollinators and all of the wildlife, because everything goes up the food chain, right? It also adds self-sustaining beauty to your landscaping. And it also helps to sequester carbon, because native plants have very long roots that help to take carbon out of the air and put it back into the soil where it belongs. And so that's this Sunday on July 23rd. And the details, I'll put the details in the comments below. You can also look at our Facebook page, our Good Earth Gatherings Facebook page, at the events section. It's in there as well.
That's free, isn't it?
It is free. And you can also enter to win $30 worth of native seeds from Courtney Masterson. So we want to support what they're doing in the community, and we want to spread the word that it's important to plant natives for so many reasons. It also helps clean the water, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to do for all of the planet Earth.
And there's always interest in this, but there's been much more since the spraying of this virgin prairie that had never been plowed or anything. And so it's really was
devastating.
Devastating, yeah. There are probably a few other words I could use, but I better not.
For sure.
Yes. So anyway, you did make a wonderful salad.
I did. Yeah,
I got to sample.
We've been enjoying a lot of the summer produce and making all kinds of different things. I think I told you all about the tomato salad that we love with the feta cheese. Feta cheese seems to play a role in a lot of things that we make. But we've been collecting blackberries off the vines lately too, and enjoying those so much in our homemade yogurt. And then beets. I've been really hungry for beets ever since. A herbalist that I follow named Jen Costa, she posted a recipe, and I really wanted to try it. And so I ended up making it because, beets, not only are they delicious, but they're a really rich source of dietary nitrate, and they help support the health of the single layer of cells that line all of our blood vessels and our lymphatic system. So it really helps with our microcirculation, and it can even help with blood pressure regulation. And my friend and herbalist that I follow, Jen Costa, she says it can also help support organ health, especially the kidney and the liver. And so I was just feeling really hungry for beets. And so I just took some beets and I followed her recipe, but it's really super simple. You just slice some beets and you steam them until they're tender. I just put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan. And while those were steaming, I thinly sliced some onion. And that's really kind of, optional if you want onion or not. I actually felt like cooking the onion. I felt like raw onion. I didn't have enough time to let the the onions sit in the vinegar to kind of get soft. And so I went ahead and cooked the onion as well. And then I made a dressing with orange juice and lime juice and some smashed garlic and balsamic vinegar, a little bit of honey, a little bit of Dijon mustard, some olive oil and salt and pepper. And that is it. And then I just tossed that all with a few sliced scallions or chives. You could also do chives and some feta cheese, of course, which makes it really yummy. And it was delicious. I love any kind of dressings with the citrus dressings, especially in the summertime.
Yes.
I think they're so refreshing. When we did our honeymoon, when we got married, we went to the Bahamas, and it wasn't the best trip ever. But of course, we were young and we thought it was, for the most part, pretty great. But, my taste buds just remember eating that really fresh Bahamian food where they would make anything, but it always had citrus. Yeah, citrus and like a dressing made with citrus. So if you try that, let me know how you like it. It's really simple to toss together.
And will you put the ingredients again on?
Yeah, I'll list them down below. Yes. Yeah.
And the one for the tomato salad, it was all last week, wasn't it? Or the week before?
Maybe the week before. Yeah.
So if you haven't seen that, you may want to go back and check that out because it was delicious too.
Good.
And these cold salads in the summer are just perfect.
Yeah, they are. I love them.
Yeah. So I finished up for Stitch Group, which meant I finished up a wristlet. Now I took a cuff off of an old denim shirt that I had, and I embroidered on it. Now it's a little wonky, but it's still okay. And the next one I'll do a little differently, but it's just kind of a fun thing to do. It was quick and easy, and it's a little hippie-like, a little like me.
Adorable.
I love it. It's fun to wear. Just stick it on your wrist and button it, and you've got your own little wristlet.
Super sweet.
A sweet idea. So if you have anything you want to recycle, use the cuff, put a design on it. You could applique something, do whatever on it.
It'd be a great stitching project for kids during the summer too. Yeah, it's great for that. Always looking. When my kids were young, I was always looking for things that they might be interested in doing, and I could totally see my kids doing that.
And this was soft to work the needle through because some denim like jeans are very tough.
Yeah.
But it was fun to do. So
nice. You always have the most wonderful little projects.
Well, the stitching group has a lot of ideas. And we share our ideas back and forth with each other, and it inspires all of us to do something or try something different.
That's what it's all about, right?
That's what it's all about.
Sharing ideas.
Yes.
And we always love to hear your ideas too. If you're working on a project that's wonderful, please let us know. Share some pictures down in the comments. We would love to see.
Or what your summer reading is.
Yes.
We're always interested in that too. I love to read.
Yeah, we always love book recommendations.
Yes.
So we'll put a couple of our book recommendations down below also, and we look forward to hearing some of your book recommendations as well.
And so that's probably wraps it up for today. Yeah. And we'll plan to see you next week. Have a wonderful week.
Yes.
Between.
Have a wonderful week and good earth blessings to you.